Welcome back to Defenders of the Last Stand. We're the grumpy old man, and we're trying to take down the remaining 3 leaders. And we have a huge pile of cards to do so. But I'm still trying to knock down Crank a little bit. He's sitting at 9 hit points, and that's a lot of damage to have to do to him with one shot to take him out. So let's begin. I have 7 actions. And of course I have extra legs. I can move 2 spaces for every movement action. And I have multiple arms, which I got last time as a mutation. I can re-roll up to 2 failed combat dice each battle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a move action. I'm going to move 2 spaces right here to Crank. And then with my second action, I do have finally a couple of crossed gun symbols. So I'm going to sabotage Crank. I'm going to knock him down 1 hit point. So he's going to go from 9 hit points down to 8. And for another move and attack action, I'm going to move 1-2 to Last Stand. And I'm going to do 1 attack on the Earther Raiding Party members there. Earther War Parties, because I don't really want them hanging around Last Stand. And I got 1 of them. So that's okay. And then I have some more actions left, and of course my battery is dying. So I have 3 actions remaining. I'll be back here in a second and deal with that. Okay, and with 3 actions remaining, I'm going to do a move action, 1-2 up to Hazard Gulch, and then I will attack those 2 Earther War Parties. And I can use the baseball cap on these guys because my baseball cap, Crown of Champions, is an item, not a special ability or a special card. So let's see what we can do here. We can do basically nothing. And I keep forgetting the rerolls. I have rerolls. I have multiple arms. I'm going to reroll the 1 die here. God, I don't know why I forget that so much. And I actually take them out. And I get to reroll both of those because multiple arms, once per battle. And I get a 5 and a 1, so I can get rid of 1. Wow. As I just mentioned that at the beginning of the episode, I promptly forget. Apologize for that. All right, 1 action remaining. And I think, where am I going to go for my 1 final action? I think I'm going to go right here to the U.S. Army Air Base with the radiation symbol, because it's going to allow me to collect 4 cards instead of 2. And I'm just wondering if I should cash in a couple of shield symbols, which I do think I will do. I cash in 2 shield symbols right now. Oh, I can't. I cannot collect any more special cards. So I can't do that. I have 3 special cards right now. I have the Digger, I have the Jinx for doing fights, and I have the Gallant Stand card. So that is basically the end of my turn. And up next, of course, I need to make a radiation roll. And do I want to try the fate of the dice? The problem is if I roll the dice and I get a mutation, I'm very likely to die. And the other sad fact is the only card I have with one of these symbols on it is the Crank card. But you know what? I'm going to spend it because I really don't want my old man character to die. So I automatically pass the radiation test. Not a problem. Okay, and then I get to collect 4 cards. And I'm going to have to reshuffle because this is the only card on top of the deck now. It's a Bramble. And so I will need to reshuffle all of the other cards and draw 3 more. So I'm going to do that off screen so you don't have to watch that. Come back, draw 3 cards, and then we're going to have to process a Raider card. And just so you don't think I've stacked the deck and I'm cheating, I'm going to do a little bit of on-camera shuffling here too. And, well, maybe do that. And I get 3 cards, 1, 2, 3. All right, so I shuffled them a lot. And now I have drawn 3 more cards because that'll give me my 4 cards, 2 shields, and that, which does me nothing. I need crossed guns. Okay, well, there you have it. I have so many cards for Bramble now at the end of the turn. I want just so many. I could go and probably take her out right now. But it is time to do the Raider card. We get, wow, okay, we get a monstrosity at Burning Sands. I didn't know these cards were in here. So at 25 Burning Sands, we just get a monstrosity popping up. And I got, of course, Find 25, which is right down here at the bottom. And so Burning Sands, not too concerned. Again, because I've slain the puke, if I move into a space with a monstrosity, it runs away. So it just goes from the board completely. Devil's Junction gets 2 more of these Road Rager guys. That could become problematic because that's right here. And that now puts 3 of them there. But we can deal with them. Bramble moves to last stand. Not gonna happen. Oh, another radiation flare-up. Okay. Radiation flare. Add a radiation token on or adjacent to a location with 1 or more radiation tokens. Immediately make a resistance test. On a failure, suffer 1 wound. I don't think on this card I'm going to get a mutation. I think I just suffer 1 wound if I fail it, because that's what it says. It doesn't say on failure they suffer 1 wound. I could read it as that. I tend to like to think that if you fail your radiation test, you get a mutation. So, but you probably get a mutation and a wound. That's how I'm going to rule it. It may be incorrect, but makes the game that little bit tougher. Now, I'm going to have to make a radiation test here, which is not so good for me. However, I am going to exhaust Jinx. Prior to making a test or combat roll to modify all dice by +1, so I didn't use him yet this turn. +1, and I might as well use the baseball cap. Exhaust, add +1 to all dice rolls from a single dice roll. So I'm going to get +2 on radiation tests. I get 3 dice to roll. All I need is 1 success. So let's see what I can do. I got a 4 + 2 is 6 and 2 5s. So no problem. I have succeeded at my radiation test. That's going to be the end of the turn. The start of the next turn, which I'll consider to be right now, everything refreshes. So my hat refreshes and Jinx refreshes. And away we go. All right, now I just don't have any of those crossed guard symbols. And I don't think I have enough crank cards to actually take him on. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 7 dice to roll against crank. He has 8 hit points. That is not going to take him down, is it? Oh boy. All right. I need to think about what I want to do again. So let me just think about that for a minute and we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm up here. I'm going to do 1 movement here to Tombstone. And then I'm going to attack the Earther War Party there. And I could use the hat, but let's see what I get. Remember, I get to re-roll 2 dice. So 2 5s, not a problem. Took them both out right on the first shot. So that was excellent. Needed a 4+ to take them out. I'm going to make another move and attack. So 1, 2, moving here and attacking this one guy. So I get to roll 1 die, and I get to re-roll it if I fail. So I got, is that even on the screen? Yeah, I got a 3. That's all I need to take out the techies. So this guy destroyed. And I think I'm going to do a final move and attack. So I'm going to move 1, 2 to here. And I think I am going to use my Atomics ability, which basically just says spend a card of the Raider color and destroy all Raiders in that space. So by doing that, it says you may discard a Defender card matching the color of one of the Raiders on your location to defeat all Raiders there. Additionally, you may discard a blue Defender to roll 2 against Puke. So I can, because of Atomics, I can just blow those guys away. That's pretty cool. 1 action remaining. Yeah, we'll move right back to White Crater. And that's going to complete my turn. Unfortunately, I have no radiation gas mask cards, and that could be problematic, but again, I do have Jinx, so I'm going to exhaust Jinx to give me +1 and roll my radiation resistance test. 3 dice, I need a 5+, and oh my god, I get a 3, 2, and a 2. Now it's +1, so it's going to be 4, 3, and 3, and very luckily for me, I can exhaust this to add +1 to all dice results from a single dice roll, and so that's going to give me +2. So that gives me a 5, gives me 1 success. So my hat and Jinx made it possible for me to pass that radiation test. Otherwise, I would have taken a mutation and very likely have died. So this is pretty tense. Now I can also spend a karma token to roll 5 dice, my tech ability, instead of rolling my radiation resistance, which is 3. So there's that as well. All right, that concludes my radiation test, and now I get to collect 4 cards again. 1, 2, 3, 4 off the top of the deck, looking for those crossed gun symbols, and I get 2 of them. Oh, that is so good, because I really want to knock Crank off his pedestal here, and so I can take him down first. They're not seeming to move to last stand, so I'm catching quite a break here. However, oh, and I forgot, darn it, I forgot to add the raider at the end of last turn. So I'm going to add a raider here to Obama Bridge. Forget that, because again, now we're into stage 2 here, and one of them is add a raider of any type to a location adjacent to last stand. I keep forgetting, but the rules are changing as the game plays, so that's why. All right, raider card, last stand. Advance 1 leader into last stand. And it says to advance, a leader must be adjacent to last stand. In case, well, basically there's no leader adjacent to last stand, so this doesn't happen. Rangers of the group may spend a total of 3 karma tokens to discard without effect, but hey, we don't need to worry about it because they're not moving to last stand anyway. And yes, we have to add 1 more raider adjacent to last stand. So I'm going to add another techie there because those guys are pretty easy to smack down. All right, this is going to be the last turn for the episode. And how am I going to do this? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move for 1 action. And yes, I'm going to spend my newly acquired cross-gun symbols to sabotage Crank again, knocking him from 8 hit points down to 7. Got to keep working on him. And then I'm going to do a move and an attack. So 1, 2, moving here and doing 1 attack there against these guys. And I think I'm going to try saving Jinx on the hat for any radiation rolls at the end. And I didn't put, oh God, I'm losing it. I didn't put a radiation symbol adjacent to anything. So I'm going to put it, Joey died here. I was supposed to put a radiation symbol adjacent to another location with a radiation symbol. Oh man, sorry about that. All right, let's attack these guys. 5, 5, and a 5. So all I needed was 3+. They are all out of there. And now I have 3 actions remaining. And I think I might as well continue on with the attacking. So I'm going to move 1 action to move here, and I'm going to attack these guys. So I am doing a very good job of knocking the raiders' teeth in, but I ultimately have to take down the leader, or I need to take down the leaders. So I get a 6 and a 2. I will use, I get to reroll misses. Keep forgetting, multiple arms. Yep, took them both down. So the old man has no problem beating the living daylights out of these raiders. So that's pretty awesome. 1 more action remaining. Where do I want to move to? I think I'm going to move right here to Obama Bridge. It has a radiation symbol. So yeah, I'm going to have to make a radiation test, which I will do. I have 3 dice. I'm using Jinx, giving me +1. 5 and 5. So yeah, I pass my radiation test. Not a problem for me that turn anyway. And yeah, now we got to process a raider card. Internet Needle gets 1 techie. Well, I don't believe that's a problem because it's right there. 1 techie there. Hazard Gulch gets 1 Earther War Party. Hazard Gulch, whoops, as they cling to each other. So we're going to have 2 now up here at Hazard Gulch. And Puke is going to move here, but Puke's no longer on the board. We took him out. New mission. If there are 2 or fewer missions in last stand, draw missions until there are 2. All right, well, we're going to get another mission. So we're going to take, because there's only 1 mission here. What do we have for this mission? Monstrosity Hunt. And it's just defeat 1 monstrosity. Well, that's easy for me. I just automatically defeat them when I move into their space. And succeed when you have defeated a monstrosity, gain a reward. The reward is Monstrosity Tracker. Each time you're on a location with a monstrosity, you may scout it without spending an action. Well, that is irrelevant because I just automatically get rid of them. So that mission is pretty well not of any use to me. So I don't think we're going to worry about it. And that will very quickly, I guess that concludes my third turn. Again, I'll be leaving notes if I've messed things up. I think I've caught in all of the little errors that I made along the way. At least I hope I did. So for a recap here at the end of this episode, we have 6 oil and ammo depots on the board. Remember, if we get 12 on the board, we lose the game. The leaders just do not seem to be going anywhere. This bomb has been at hard road for many turns. We have Crank over here at Liberty Tunnel, and we have Bramble at Boxville, and they're all 3 spaces away from there. So why don't we take a look? So we have Digger. Can't forget that. He gives me +1 on scavenging, +1 on adventure rolls, and we have Jinx, who can give me +1 on a test or fight roll. We have to exhaust him before. We have this special card, which is Gallant Stand, so I can either use it to prevent one leader from advancing or use 3 extra dice fighting a leader. So that may come in handy fighting Crank. Now remember, I'm just showing you all the stuff I've got here. So I have extra legs with the radiation pill, so this becomes a 0. Each time I move, I can move 2 spaces, and I have multiple arms, and I can reroll 2 failed combat dice results during each battle. And that gives me 3 mutation points. And lastly, I have the Ancient Crown of Champions, the baseball cap, which is exhaust to add +1 to all dice results from a single dice roll. And you can use that after you roll the dice, because it does not say you need to do it ahead of time. And I have 2 karma tokens, and I have a wad of cards. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 12 dice to roll against Bramble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dice to roll against Bomba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dice I can roll against Crank. And 9, I could roll 12 dice if I use the special Gallant Stand. So I could roll 12 dice against Crank. Crank, though, has 6 Ancient Tech cards, which are going to pump him up. So I think I want to try to beat him down a little bit more, if possible, for the end of, before I take down the rest of them. And I didn't add a leader around here, did I? So why don't I add a techie let's add a techie to Joey Died here. And that now, I'm sure I've caught everything, is going to conclude this episode. So thanks so much for watching along. This is Defenders of the Last Stand. And very similar to Defenders of the Realm, which I've done here on my channel. But of course, this is post-apocalyptic. And there's a lot more items and rules and a little bit of more fiddly things going on. But I like it better. It's just lots more cool stuff that happens as well. So once again, thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for the likes. Really appreciate it. And thanks for watching along on Defenders of the Last Stand. So join me next time, where we continue with the old man beating down the raiders. And I think next turn, I think he's going to go on a rampage, try and knock out 1 or possibly 2 of these leaders. Maybe Bramble needs to be taken out. So join me next time, and we'll continue on Defenders of the Last Stand.